Three, two, one.
Well, it's the Return of the Trek.
Return of Trek.
Yeah, but don't sound too happy
about it that much.
I mean, I can't imagine why, but I just get the feeling that we don't enjoy it.
I've got a feeling we're really not going to talk about it very often, and we might get onto other things such as Battlestar Galactica and Power Rangers.
Yeah, I think it's all in theme.
Yeah, definitely. Is this one for Star Trek fans? Well, it's not for us to say, but also no, it's definitely
not. But
if
if you like Star Trek, well, I wouldn't.
Swerve.
But what I would do is go to our website and find a different episode.
Yeah, that's more
listen
to
to our
your
opinions
taste.
on some other things. Skip the Star Trek ones.
And also Entourage. No, don't skip Entourage because it's very entertaining to hear what we say after it. Don't watch Entourage, but listen to our episode on Entourage so you don't have to watch Entourage.
Yeah, we took that bullet.
You're welcome. Fuck's sake. When are you going to pay us back for that favour anyway? Jesus Christ.
Well, if they're listening to this, they are paying us back. Because they're listening.
You.
But yeah, copilotspodcast.co.uk, that's where there's a list of episodes there somewhere, I'm sure.
Do you know what? I think outside of certain specialist websites, it's my favourite website.
Is that because it's got a big picture of your face on it?
Oh yeah. A big picture of my stupid drunk face on my wedding day.
Yeah, and there's just some cunt standing next to you.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
But we're on Twitter and all that stuff as well. Real Co-Pilots or the Co-Pilots podcast or something. And
Twitter, we're at Kanye West, actually.
Yeah, tweet him about TV shows. See how that goes.
He would bloody love it.
And we're on Spotify and Amazon podcasts and Apple podcasts. And
Still not on Acast.
No, because you have to pay.
That's ridiculous. How do they expect us to get money?
I don't think they're worried about us getting money. They want money.
Well, I'd like some actually.
We'll just put the music in now then. That's a good time for the music, I think. Oh, should we just put the music back on and then...
Thanks for listening. The reason I was being silent that time is because I was still doing a big yawn. And I'll tell you when else I did a big yawn.
Was it in the 3 hours of Star Trek?
Yeah, except I didn't watch 3 hours of Star Trek.
You lucky bastard.
Well, you didn't have to. You could have.
No, but
not
I wanted to make sure I didn't make the Discovery mistake again, where I watched episode 2 and went, oh fuck, this is actually not bad.
Well, did you make that mistake with either of them?
I made a different kind of Discovery mistake where I continued. I don't enjoy Star Trek, as it turns out.
No, I think if there's two things we can be sure of is, one, we're not a massive fan of Star Trek, and two, Entourage is still the worst TV show we've ever seen.
Yeah. The thing
However,
is,
comes close.
So the annoying thing is, these aren't bad. They're just not
good.
I just don't enjoy them in the way that I think I should, because it's very much like space fighting laser ships is really my jam, but it's not, because I started watching Battlestar Galactica and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, having tried Star Trek, and then it just went, oh, here's a different space laser fighting thing, and I was like, that's cool, I like that. But yeah, this, I don't know if it's that you have to know about the previous Star Treks to understand or care. But I'm looking at the general sort of feel for Deep Space Nine's pilot. And in 2015, they called it like essential to binge watching Star Trek Deep Space Nine. That was Wired who said that.
In which year?
2015.
That's surprisingly recent.
Sci-Fi ranked it in 2016 as the best of the 6 main Star Trek pilots for Deep Space Nine. It's in the top 25 of essential Star Trek episodes.
See, this is the thing, because I remember saying last time we did a Star Trek, maybe if we
watch the best of the best. But apparently we have. Well, this is amongst the best of the best, and
okay, never mind then.
Yeah, the thing, I can't put my finger on what it is that I don't like about it.
No, me neither. Because, like you say, in theory, should kind of be, in our sort of ballpark of shit we like. But do you know what I think? I think it's just it's so dry, and everyone's just you don't really get. I remember hearing a thing once. I can't remember who it was. It might have even been Brett Goldstein. He said, "If there's no jokes in your show, what's the point?" And I was like, "There was no point. There was no point in this." Where I was like, that someone made it, or at least tried to make a joke."
Yeah, how can you have a utopia without comedians?
But then, I'm not sure that you'd want that anyway. But I don't know. I just I like you bounced off it so hard. I just don't give a shit about Star Trek. So I'm glad this is the last one that the last time we're going to be talking about Star Trek. Have we done all of them now?
Not all of them.
Okay.
But I'm done giving it chances.
So what I was going to say, what you've done there is misunderstand me. That's the last one, isn't it?
It's the last one we will cover.
Yeah.
Intentionally, we might accidentally watch something that sounds like it's not Star Trek, but actually is.
I wonder if it's that thing that we often go back to, is like, if you grew up with it, you probably have.
So, but Star Trek has to get new fans somehow, otherwise they're all going to die.
I guess like when you're younger, and if you introduce it when you're really young, you have fewer prejudices, and you've not seen as much stuff as you have when you're an adult. So you've got less to judge. Or when you've done
when you're nearly 300 shows deep in a podcast.
Which we will be when? Oh, not for a long while yet.
No, it'll be some foreign thing next year, I'm sure.
It's a foreign thing. It sounds really disparaging, but we have actually looked at some international shows.
The thing, I'm genuinely more interested in watching shows where they're in a language that I don't understand than I am in Star Trek.
Yeah. Yeah, easily.
But the thing, I don't want people to think that we're hating on it just because we didn't watch when we were younger. It's just, there's something about... I think it's that Patrick Stewart isn't controlling people with his mind.
And that's what we prefer him to do.
Yeah, that and what he did in Logan, which was die.
I mean, Deep Space Nine starts half decent, and it's like... Because obviously I don't know anything about Star Trek, but then okay, so this enemy that they're fighting manages to get a clone of Picard, or they convert him into a baddie.
He becomes part of the hive mind.
Yeah, well, I was like, okay, this is cool, and then
they stopped doing that.
Yeah,
but I think that must be the end of
one of the other shows
he was on. Yeah, because that's the thing. It's the most interesting part of the pilot of Deep Space Nine is the idea that there is conflict within Starfleet. I don't know, that probably pops up a little bit in everywhere, but the idea of like a rogue starship just going off and just sort of doing whatever the fuck they want is more interesting than the like, oh, we're one big utopia and we're on a message of peace with our laser cannons. And it's just, it is weird that they're like meant to be, I guess, like a research and exploration thing, and they just go around sort of fucking shit up around the universe. And I think we said this last time we watched Star Trek, that but then the thing is, a show about people walking around and like just looking at things and not interfering is very Thornberrys.
Except she gets involved in the Thornberrys, doesn't she? She does like rescue stuff.
I honestly can't remember that much of the Wild Thornberrys.
I remember it had amazing opening titles. And because it explained.
I remember Nige, Big Nige, and his hooter.
Big Nige. That's Tim Curry, you know. That was Pennywise. But
well, you know, if you like kids, if you're a Dark Evil Count who likes kids, make a kids TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Then they come to you like, oh, can I have an autograph? And it's like, oh,
sure,
get in the fucking sewer. I keep all my autographing pens in this drain. In you get, Ken. But I am actually pretty sure that there is a Star Trek board game where you have a traitor.
Ah, does that mean you turn to the hive mind?
No, it means I think it's a really good idea that could do with a reskin. I don't know, maybe like a Star Wars reskin.
That would be quite fun. That would annoy some people, I'm sure. Oh my god.
Well, that's the thing.
I've just googled like Star Trek board games, and there's an article called Top 14 Best Star Trek Board Games.
That's too many. Or not enough. How dry can you bleed a horse? I think... I don't think... Actually, I'm now of the... I always thought it was Star Wars versus Star Trek. I think it's Star Trek they're versus comparable fun. Now. I think it's Star Trek versus everything that does space better. So I think it probably has genuinely good ideas and like complex and interesting storylines. But they make the pilots 3 hours long, or 90 minutes, or too long is the length of time that they made these pilots for me.
I suppose.
And if you can't hook me on your first hour, I'm not coming back.
No, I think that's fair. I mean, we do have to take into account that how we consume like entertainment's completely changed. So they were doing it for different reasons, obviously.
Wow, what was the reason? Why did they make this?
Keep as many people watching as long as possible. Well, they failed to do that, didn't they?
Yeah, but then surely Netflix now that have all of them on there.
They are pretty cutthroat with their shows. Netflix. They don't get long to sort of prove their worth.
Yeah.
There's quite a few like one series shows just floating around on Netflix now.
Yeah, but then how can they? They surely must. They're paying to host it, so they must be hoping to see some sort of return on it. So surely they have to. They can't just rely on nostalgia and people being like, "Oh, I like Discovery. Maybe I'll take a punt at that."
Yeah. Very true.
That's the thing. I think across both of them, I think I was more interested in Deep Space Nine, but that was just because it had a character that I'd heard of.
Yeah, that's. Oh yeah.
And he's not a main
that's what I was
character. Picard is not in this for very much. but I knew him and recognised not from. Maybe pop culture's ruined it for us.
What? Because we now know that Star Trek is just through its memes. Do you mean? And
yeah, maybe. And also, like Picard is very much like a. He is in my head anyway. He is Star Trek. If he's not in it, it's not Star Trek.
What more so than like?
Will Wheaton, yes.
What's his name? The original guy.
Leonard Nimoy.
The other one. The one they based.
William Shatner.
Yeah, the one they based the Halloween mask on.
Yeah, because Picard was the one that I. If you show me Picard and Shatner out of costume, I'd be like, he was in Star Trek. He was in Halloween, sort of.
Well, there's something, I suppose.
Yeah. But I just... I don't know, I think it's just that I don't... I think potentially, if it was them going off doing what humans do best in colonising, it would be more interesting. Or maybe in a idea where they weren't already a utopia that for some reason still uses USS. Oh yeah, no, the Earth's a whole utopia underneath Donald Trump running things. It's... Yeah, it's weird. There's just something, I think, I'm missing something, but the TV shows aren't explaining what I'm missing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's absolutely
And I
right.
think it's mostly how it works. Because I think the idea of there being all of these ships that go off exploring and like doing stuff is cool. But I think I'm genuinely more interested in what's going on, like, centrally, to be like, hey, this is kind of how this planet works, and or this is how the universe you live in is working now, where it's just kind of it throws you in and just goes, yeah. This is how it works, but not ever giving you enough to, like, I don't know, match it to reality, I suppose, in some way. I don't know, which is something I
yeah,
no, you go.
No, I still think it's just because it's too dry. And it's
I think it also it's a lot to look at to start with as well.
But I don't. Again, I appreciate we haven't watched very much of it, but even in this short amount that we've seen, they don't really have much character. The crew members on the ship, they are literally, it's you're the doctor, your navigation, your weapons, your engineer, you know, etc. Stuff like that. You don't really get a good sense for like them as people. It's just them as their roles, and that I'm like, I'd rather like know who they were earlier. I'm sure sure that stuff does get explored, because otherwise, who's still watching people just doing jobs and not like changing as people, you know?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think actually comparing a Star Trek to Battlestar Galactica would have been, because it would have been Star Trek and something that was done better.
I mean, I've no frame of reference for Battlestar Galactica. I know nothing about it.
I've watched the first few, and it starts with a world that you don't understand, but you sort of there's an analogue there that you kind of get, because it is. But they've had like a 40-year armistice with their after a big fight. After humans created robots decided that humans shouldn't exist anymore, and then started to exterminate them. So then it just sort of goes off into this. After the armistice is broken, they're like, it admittedly just is quite brutal, and humans just start dying because they get like, the opening episode has nukes, right?
Fucking hell.
So, actually no, the first episode before, because there's a mini series to like essentially prime you for it, but it came out 2 years before the rest of it. But the first episode has a thing where they have to jump every 33 minutes, because that's how long it takes for the enemy to triangulate and work out where they are. But then they have to make decisions on, oh well, we could jump all the ships, or we could jump 3 of the ships further. But we just have to essentially like sacrifice like 40,000 people.
See, already
That's episode 1.
Yeah, that already sounds a bit more interesting than, oh, we're just pootling about and there's some farmer or something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. Oh, also they have to cope with the fact that they've lost a bunch of people, and also they are just awake. Oh, the episode list has a survivor count on it, and I think the survivor count is essentially assumed to be most of the humans. So there's like under 50,000. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's because I was talking to someone at work and I was saying, Star Trek should be my thing, but it's not. And he suggested Battlestar. And I started watching it, was like, this is much better space stuff.
Maybe we'll give that a go then. We'll have to put that among the foreign muck next year.
Yeah. Because I have no real interest in watching either of these for any longer than I already have.
No. Like,
and it's a shame because a lot of people rave about Star Trek, and it's hard to assume that many people are wrong, but now it's factual.
Oh, can't trust people, Rich. People like Hitler and voted for the Nazis. You can't. Oh no, it's people like Coldplay and voted for the Nazis. You can't trust people.
Yeah, I was going to say people liked Hitler. I was like, I mean, they voted for him, but I'm not sure they liked him. In the way that people voted for Boris Johnson, and they'll learn.
And then bemoan the state of the country. Oh, I wish we didn't have to deal with this. Well, that's kind of what you signed up for, so nice one.
It's honestly, it's my favourite thing is watching right-leaning newspapers go, oh, Jesus, Brexit's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? It's like, uh-huh. Welcome to where we've been since before the fucking vote.
Yeah. I genuinely, like, even on Twitter or anything, I've not seen one right-wing person or just anyone even giving out something that's improved since Brexit.
I saw today on the news, the farmers were complaining that they couldn't get cheap labour to work on the farms.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Yes.
So those jobs that they were coming to take, now we've got to have them, and we're not very fucking happy about that.
That's the thing. I've said that for years, that if you complain about people coming and taking your jobs...
Do those jobs.
One, they're not. They're doing the jobs that British people won't do.
Yeah.
I don't know why we won't do them, but we won't.
Because people don't want to do, manual labour for, basic pay, do they? It's like, but if the jobs that they're coming to take can be gotten ahead of you by people who have come to this country, maybe not even speaking the language, and who have nothing,
it's your fault.
Maybe have a look at yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, basically Star Trek's a bit wank.
Yeah, which is a shame.
And so's the state of the country. Brexit meant Brexit, they went to shit.
Yeah.
What we need is a global utopia and some spaceships.
I'm starting to think
Or a
maybe we
nuke.
need the nukes.
Yes.
We'll take off and launch the nuke from space. It's the only way to be sure. That's from Aliens,
Yeah.
which is also good space stuff, done better than Star Trek. I was watching Alien in bed this morning for some reason. I just woke up really early. I was like, I don't really want to get up, but I don't want to go back to sleep. So I just watched Alien for a bit.
Interesting choice, but so's our next pairing for the old podcast.
Oh, what have we got? I've forgotten. Where are we?
Sons of Anarchy
See if you can spot the theme.
and Biker Mice from Mars.
I think they will go together like fine wine and good cheese.
Well, the Biker Mice from Mars would like the cheese.
Hey! Space cheese, though.
Hey, it's yeah, they'd stop at the moon on the way through.
Go and pop off, say hello to Wallace and Gromit as they're heading off to the Red Planet.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, no,
yeah.
they're from Mars. They'll be heading to us, I imagine.
Oh, I don't know actually. I don't know if it is actually set on Mars. I can't remember. It was always one of the shows that I wanted to like watch when I was a kid, but it was never on at the right time.
The perks of being a grown-up.
Yeah, we can go back and watch Biker Mice from Mars. Do you know what? I can't even remember what they look like. I just remember the title.
That's the thing. I have shows that I watched as a kid that I've spoken to people about and they are convinced don't exist. But I had toys.
Oh yeah,
Like VR Troopers. Have you seen or heard of VR Troopers?
I have. They were like Pound Shot Power Rangers, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember them.
You're the first person I've spoken to that's remembered.
I definitely had. There was an. I would love to have this again because this is another one that is like, this show did not exist and this comic did not exist, but I can picture it perfectly. It was called The Masked Rider, and it was one of the Saban who actually did Power Rangers. It was one of their things. And I keep trying to find it, but the only thing I can find of it is this Japanese live-action TV show of it. And it definitely wasn't that. It was... I think it was in an annual for a different show. So clearly what they'd done is, like, there was an annual that came out.
What was it called?
It was called The Masked Rider, and he looked a little bit like Ant-Man.
Oh, what I'm doing is I'm just making a nice little bonus episode for us to do at some point.
This is the thing...
Where it's just shows we're not convinced existed.
That'd be a good one, actually. This is the thing, I'm not sure, maybe it wasn't a TV show, but there was a comic strip in... This is the thing, it always comes out as Carmen Rider. I don't know if that's... I don't know. But it was amazing. But I can't remember what the book it was in. Maybe it was in a Power Rangers annual.
Maybe, because I think Saban made most of the merch and products and stuff. I think they just... So, well, the weird thing with Power Rangers is that a lot of the fight scenes aren't actually the American actors. They're the original Japanese.
In Japan, yeah.
But they just, like, put on the helmet and then... It's why their body shapes change so much.
So
Have you seen the the new one? Like, someone made like a little fan film that's like a super dark sequel to Power Rangers.
I don't think so.
It's really cool. I'll find it for you after this.
Okay. I think I might have just found the book that I've been keeping an eye out for.
You can buy it now.
How much is it? It's only a couple of quid. I could.
Again, perks of being a grown up.
The Power Rangers Annual 1997. Perhaps that was it. Or was it this one? 1994. £2.50.
Well, I might leave you to do your shopping.
Yeah, we've come a bit of away from Star Trek there, haven't we?
I didn't think we were going to cover much of it, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, next time, yeah, not Star Trek.
Please.